السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا زدنا علما. اللهم فقهنا في الدين. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وأملا متقبلا آمين يا رب العالمين. So here we are with our basic Nahw and Sarf session number 78, and we are going to go over the homework that has been assigned to you in the last session. So in the last session, we were learning how we can have sometimes entry of our haruf nasiba in jumlatul ismiya. I hope you all have understood what to expect when you see inna, anna, ka anna, layta, la'alla, lakinna. Anytime you are going to find those haruf nasiba that you have learned in your term 2, you are going to start to think about jumla ismiya, jumla ismiya, jumla ismiya, because they will start jumla ismiya because their job is to attack mubtada of the sentence and make it mansoob. They make the mubtada from raf to nasb status, and they are, that is why called nawasikhul mubtada or harufe nasikha, because now mubtada is no longer raf in status, it has changed its status to nasb and is called ismu harufe nasiba, right? So and then we have gone over how there are in one ayah you can find so many different type of sentences within one ayah of Quran, and that is from the Ijazul Quran, like how Quran makes you think and ponder that one ayah has so many different sentences, right? So now let's see our homework. So our homework was Suratul Fajr, verse number, ayah number 24. So Yaqulu, I hope everyone was able to understand it as Jumlatul Failya. And when it comes to the three types of fail that you have covered in your term, two in the last term, you have covered the fail can be Mudare, it can be madin, it can be fi'lul amr. And this one has alamatul mudare ya. So you are going to call this fail mudare. And after you have discovered that this is your fail mudare, the next step is with every fail you look for the pronoun. This is fail mudare ma'loom. So this pronoun that is there is going to be the file of the fail, because this is fail ma'loom. And in here, huwa is the mir mustatir, the hidden pronoun huwa is the file of fail yakulu, right? Remember a fail and a file, right? Fail and a file, and you have a jumla failure beginning in this ayah of Suratul Fajr 24. So you have discovered your fail and file, and now there is something in Jumlatul Failure. You have fail, file. What else is there? You can have maf'ul, you can have muta'alliq bil, right? So in jumlatul failure, you should not forget what do you expect to find in jumlatul failure. There is going to be a fail, file, maf'ul, and there can be muta'alliq bil as well. You will find it in all your slides, and this is a slide from advanced grammar that I just shared. However, in every session you will find that there is going to be fail, file, and a maf'ul, and there is nothing that about the positioning of muta'alliq bil. It's about the same as maf'ul. Sometimes a sentence does not have to have all, right? You must understood by now that a sentence must have jumlatul failure, will have fail, file, and sometimes detail may not be there, sometimes detail may not be required, sometimes there are certain of all that are not able to take any detail, and sometimes you may find detail, and sometimes you may only find muta'alliq bil. So always remember those concepts, okay? Because these are common. This is the part of your common sense, and that's sometimes we whenever we are doing grammar, we forget about common sense, right? So keep that in mind. So you have your fail, you have your file, which is the mir mustatir hua. Now you are going to look for your maf'ul, right? So he will say, because I have taught you how you have your fail mudare, which is going to sometimes translate as present tense, and sometimes it can translate in future, can have a connotation of future tense as well. Okay, so in here he will say ya laytani qaddamtu li hayati. So in here, all everything that he said, everything that he said is going to, is now becoming a detail. It is answering the question, what will he say? He will say, Ya laytani qaddamtu li hayati. Oh, I wish, or what did I send ahead for my life, right? So in here, this whole sentence, this is which is answering your what question, is going to act as your maful bihi, right? As your maful bihi. And then you enter the sentence and you had ya in the beginning. We have not covered ya, so leave it alone for now. We have not learned the details of this ya. Yeah, it is something to call someone. You have covered it briefly when you were learning your ism, and the properties of an ism, how ya is mostly going to be followed by an ism, but here you don't find an ism after it. So we are going to learn the details of that later on, but I want you to focus on laytani qaddamtu li hayati. When you see layta, you are again going to now figure out your jumla ismiya. Your jumla ismiya has harf nasb and its ism, right? Layta is harf nasb, its ism is ya, and noon is noonul waqaya. And then comes, after finding harf nasb and its ism, you are going to look for khabru, khabru layta. Khabru layta in here is a sentence, which is jumlatul felia qaddamtu nasartu fail madin, and the file in here is taul file, right? The ta is the file, and this one qaddamtu ta is the file, and fail and file, and then comes li hayati. Li hayati, there are three words, jar wal majroor, li hayati jar wal majroor, hayati mudaf mudaf ilayhi, and together li hayati is going to be labeled as mbf for fail qaddamtu, right? Everyone got it? This is how you did it. And now comes the status of the khabar of layta. What did I tell you? What will be the status of khabru layta? It is going to be fi mahalli raf'in. It is going to be fi mahalli raf'in. Later, inna, anna, ka only affect mubtada. They never affect the khabar. I never taught you that they are going to affect the khabar. They only and only affect the mubtada of the sentence. Khabar retains its rough status, as you can see here. Inna allaha basirun. Innahu mu'minun. The lafzul jalala, mubtada, the status of mubtada got changed, but khabar remained unchanged. In here, huwa mu'minun, mubtada, the status of mubtada got affected, but khabar remained unchanged, right? So it is going to be the khabar of layta, or all the inna, anna, ka anna, layta, la'alla, lakinna is going to be either rafin status or fi mahalli raf'in. Rafin status or fi mahalli raf'in. Is this clear to all of you? Alhamdulillah. So one sentence, then there is another sentence, and then there is another sentence. So you have almost, seen in this one ayah, one sentence was yaqulu, then there was a jumla ismiya. Khabar of jumla ismiya was jumla felia. So there are three sentences that you came across just in this fine morning, and I hope you were all able to understand this so far. In the last session, we also have gone over how whenever we are going to see harufe nasiba and their ism, only think about jumla ismiya. When it pertains to that harufe nasiba and its ism, you are only going to concern yourself with jumlatul ismiya. Most of the pointers pronouns are going to be showing you the beginning of jumlatul ismiya. Keep that in mind. This information is going to come in handy. and you will see that how you are able to quickly identify your jumlatul ismiya. So in most of the cases, when you have jumla ismiya and you have, there is a lot of, there was a lot of, verbiage used in the last a few sessions, though I have never taught you, but still there was a lot of, the people who were, who, sometimes, I don't like my students to join both the classes. If they are in basic group, I want them to continue with basic group. If they are in advanced group, I want them to continue in advanced group. I have not allowed my advanced students to join this group for some reason, so that the other students do not get overwhelmed by their answers, that we are so much behind. But sometimes we have people who are joining both groups, and they very sensibly are able to participate in both groups, and there is no problem with that, as long as we do not answer what is not asked, right? So we don't answer for the questions that have not been even asked by myself, right? So I'm going to teach you one thing today. So whenever you have jumla ismiya, when you have jumla ismiya, in a normal jumla ismiya, what do you think have you learned is the sequence of the sentence? What do you find first in the jumla ismiya? What is the first part that you look for? There is a mubtada, very good job, and then you are going to find a khabar. Okay, in any jumla ismiya, just focus on this one. Don't look at whatever else is on the slide. Forget about everything. Do not confuse yourself, and just focus on what I'm trying to tell you now. Okay, in a normal sequence, you have mubtada, and then there is a khabar. Okay, so look here. So what is your normal expectation? That you will have a mubtada and then you will find a khabar. And for the most part, in 90% of cases, did you find that? Did you find your mubtada in the beginning and then your khabar? But did you always find mubtada in the beginning in Arabic? Do you always find it like that? Not always, right? It is in Arabic, the subject does not always have to be in the beginning of the sentence, right? It does not, right? And why it is moved, it is delayed, or sometimes in khabar is brought forward. There is going to be a science behind it that you will learn, okay? But what I want you to know is your sequence of a sentence is there is going to be a mubtada and then there is going to be a khabar. So there is going to be an A and then you will expect a B. This is how you have learned your ABC. This is how you never say B A D E or E D, right? You have A and then you have B, right? But if I bring B before A, if I bring B before A, did I change the sequence? Did I change the sequence? Right? Did I change the sequence? And there is going to be a change in the sequence very many times as well. So whatever is brought forward, is called muqaddam. It is called muqaddam. Is this term clear to you? Whatever is brought forward is called muqaddam. Whatever is delayed, whatever is moved later, it is going to be called muakhar. Okay? Are you with me? Everyone with me so far? Whatever is brought forward is going to be called muqaddam, and whatever is delayed is going to be called muakhar. Simple, easy. Okay, now let me show you something here. Okay. Look at this sentence. Lahum azabun azim. Lahum azabun azim. So let's cover this sentence. What is lahum? How will you label lahum? Jar wal majroor. It is jar wal majroor. La harf jar, hum majroor, jar wal majroor, right? Azabun, azabun, is going to be labeled as, what is the labeling for azabun? And I have covered it with you. Anytime you have jar wal majroor and there is a ism coming afterwards, you name that ism mubtada, you call that ism mubtada. Okay, yeah, this slide has been shared with you very many times. Now by this time you should know that this is going to be, because this is an ism, this has nothing to do with jumlatul failure, so you are just going to call this azabun mubtada. Okay, there is any confusion about it? Yes, mubtada has a sifa azimun. Azimun is a sifa for azabun. Okay, yes, absolutely correct answer. So now, my dear students, do you find your mubtada in a place? Is A still on position A, or the position has changed? It has been moved. The A has been moved back, right? The A has been moved back, right? Mubtada that was supposed to be in the beginning is now delayed. So what did I just tell you? What do you call if something is delayed? What is the name for something that is delayed? It is called muakhar. Muakhar, kha. Muakhar. Okay, it is going to be called muakhar, kha. Okay, easy. Is this clear? Now your mubtada is muakhar. Why it is done? This is not, we will learn it, but I don't want you to be, going into details of that without knowing what it is exactly. Okay. So in here, you found that your mubtada got delayed. It is muakhar. Okay. Is this clear to all of you? Yes, last or delayed. Akhara yuakhiru takhiran. Something takhir is delay. So from there, muakhar is coming. Okay. So now another example. Biyadikal khayru. Biyadikal khayru. Biyadika. Yes, Fariha, you're right. Biyadika jar wal majroor ka attached to yad, and there is going to be yadika. Yadika is going to be making an idafa. Very good job. Very good job. So this chunk is going to be labeled as muta'alliq bil, and al khairu is an ism. So this is going to be jumlatul ismiya, and biyadika is going to be labeled as muta'alliq bil khabar in here. And al-khayru, al-khayru, al-khayru is going to be labeled as, what do you, mubtada, very good job. And it is going to be called mubtada muakhar. It is going to be called mubtada muakhar. Everyone got it? That again, we are noticing our mubtada got delayed. So far, everyone with me? Got it? That what is muakhar? What is muqaddam? Right? Okay, now see another example. So I'm going to skip this one, Mata Nasrullahi. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to take you to this one. Ala kulubin, ala kulubin, aqfaluha. Ala kulubin, aqfaluha. Upon their hearts is their locks. Ala kulubin is jar wal majroor, tahmina, very good job. And aqfaluha, aqfalu, can I call aqfalu my mubtada? Can I call this mubtada aqfalu? And this is muakhar, or this is in the right place? It is again muakhar, right? It is again muakhar, right? It is delayed. It was supposed to be in the beginning of the sentence. However, I do not find it in the beginning of the sentence. Easy? So far, you are able to identify that what is muqaddam, what is muakhar. Okay, now mubtada, in here, look at this one example. Fawqa kulli zi ilmin. Fawqa, fawqa kulli zi ilmin. How are you going to connect fawqa with kulli? It is, we are going to, our khabar missing in these. Yes, Iram, yes, you are going to, fawqa is a place. Fawqa is a place, right? It is, fawqa is a place. So fawqa kulli is going to be making, fawqa with kulli is mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. Kulli zi, another mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. Zi ilmin, another mudaf ilayhi. So fawqa kulli zi ilmin, are they all connected together through idafa, right? There are one, two, three idafas, right? There is a chain of idafa. But now you see here, fawqa is an ism that has to, this mudaf is an ism that has to do something with time and place. If your ism is going to have something to do with time and place, you call it, you call that zarf, that ism is called zarf, and that is going to be called muta'alliq bil khabar. And then comes your alimun. Alimun, it is going to be labeled how? How will you label this alimun? You are going to call it mubtada muakhar. Mubtada muakhar. Is this clear to all of you? Everyone got it? Then another example. I want you to see another example. You are going to forget about ma. You are going to forget about illa. Ma means not, illa means except. Just think about it. Just think about it as they don't exist. Okay? Ala rusuli al balagu. Ala rusuli al balagu. Ala rusuli jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil khabar. Right? Muta'alliq bil khabar. Muqaddam. Okay? You want to call it that, that's fine. And al balagu. Al balagu. How will you label it? It is going to be your mubtada muakhar. It is going to be labeled as mubtada muakhar. Is this clear so far? That how you are going to, what is muqaddam, what is muakhar? Another example. Mata nasrullahi. Mata means ala rusuli jar wal majroor. Ala rusuli ar rusul majroor. Together with ala rusuli together. Muta'alliq bil khabar. Ala rusuli jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil khabar. Clear, Tahmina? Okay, mata means when. Okay, which one? Zunaira? Ma ala rusuli illa al balagu. You want me to repeat this? Okay, ala rusuli jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil khabar al balagu mubtada muakhar. Mubtada muakhar. Clear? Type 1 if you are with me. Okay, now let's look at the al balagu is an ism. There is an al there, isn't it? You know, there's an al balag upon you is the conveying, right? Al balag, al. Don't forget your basic. Yeah. The last example again, Shirina, this one, ala rusuli. I just did. Are you talking about this one? Or mata? The first one. Mata. Okay, let's say we are doing it. We are doing it. Okay. So mata means where, right? Mata means not where, mata means when. Okay, mata means when. Nasrullahi. Nasrullahi is going to be nasru, is going to be in idafa, mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. Nasru is going to be, how can you label nasru? Is this a jumla ismiya or jumla failya? What kind of a sentence? It is jumla ismiya because I'm not looking at any fail here. When is the help of Allah coming? It is meant to be when is the help of Allah coming. So coming is not that. Mata nasrullahi is there. So you have to work with that. There is no fail. It is jumla ismiya. So you have mata, which is a zarf. Very good job. And when it is mata means when. It is a noun of time, zarf, zaman. So what can we call that zarf which has to do, how do we label zarf in jumla ismiya? The zarf in jumla ismiya is called mbk. The zarf in Jumla Ismiya is called MBK. For now, you just keep that in mind. Don't see whatever else is happening on the slide. You have Mata, you can call MBK. And Nasru is going to be again labeled as Mubtada Muakhar. Mubtada Muakhar. Is this clear to all of you? Everyone got it? How many of you have understood it? That how your mubtada does not have to be always in the beginning. If its position is changed, just like it is moved, it is delayed, just like A was delayed and B came before, you are going to call that mubtada muakhar. You are going to call mubtada muakhar. Yes, you can, for now you can say that that is mbk muqaddam. Mbk muqaddam at this stage you can say mbk muqaddam. biyadikal khairu. Biyadikal khairu. Biyadi is jar wal majroor. Yadika, your hand, in your hand, right? Yadika is idafa, mudaf ilayhi. Al khayru is going to be mubtada muakhar. Mubtada muakhar. Mata is MBK. Yes, you can call it MBK. Absolutely. It can be, it's system for basic grammar, right? This fits the bill for zarf, right? It is a zarf, one of the zarf, right? It is zarf. We have classified it among the different examples where you have I have given you a slide that says very clearly that if you have zarf idafa, if you have jar wal majroor, you call it mbk. You can call it mbk. Okay. Mata is not a pointer. Mata, does it give you a meaning of a pointer? Mata means when. It is not a pointer. When is the help of Allah. It is the noun of time. It is the noun of time. Okay? Is this clear? Ruqayya, are you with me? Yes, it is a zarf. It is a zarf. Mata, aina, those are zarf, right? Mata means when, aina means where. All those words are zaruf and those can be labeled as MBK. Okay? Mata has no, yes, here does not have a mudaf ilayhi. Yes, in here it does not have mudaf ilayhi. Is this, everyone got it? So far, everyone is with me? That what is this muqaddam and muakhar business? No, no, not in this course. We have not done shubu jumla yet, but your jar wal majroor, your zarf, whatever you classify as MBK can come under the umbrella of shubu jumla. Okay, everything that you have covered as zarf, zarf idafa, or your jar wal majroor, that all those fall under definition of shubu jumla. Okay. So that was that. And then I also have, you also have covered your Jumla failure. And in Jumlatul failure, again, the same thing is going to work. Fail, file, maful bihi and mutalik bil fail. I just, put them together. And I think we have covered those when we were learning our Jumlatul failure. So what do you normally expect? You expect fail in the beginning, and then you have file, and then you have maful bihi, something that resembles a sentence but is not an entire sentence. Shibu means something that resembles something. Okay, so shibu jumla literally means like a jumla. Okay, yeah. So it's just a fancy term that many of the grammarians are going to use. They will call jar wal majroor, zarf, zarf idafa as shibu jumla. Okay, yes, very good job. Is this clear? And I'm going to share something with you to, for those of you who are interested. I can share something on Shubu Jumla with you all. And that is going to help you understand what is going to come under the umbrella of Shubu Jumla, okay? Because this fancy term is used in many fancy classes, and students get very overwhelmed by, what is Shubu Jumla. Okay, so in Jumlatul Failure, you are going to look for the same sequence: fail, file, maful bihi, and muta'alliq bil fail, okay? So, and sometimes when your file is brought before fail, that is not a possibility. File can never be brought before fail. You all know that, right? You can never see file before fail, right? But maf'ul bihi, can it come before fail? What do you think? Can maf'ul bihi come before fail? Absolutely, it can come before fail. Maf'ul bihi can come before file as well, right? Maf'ul bihi can come before file. And then you have covered these three cases with me, that when it is mandatory to bring this change. Especially one of the cases that I want you all to remember is that if your maf'ul bihi is a pronoun, if your maf'ul bihi is a pronoun, it is mandatory for that maf'ul bihi to come before file. For example, Nasarani Muhammadun. Muhammad helped me. In this case, since your maf'ul bihi is an attached pronoun, it is mandatory for this ya to come before file, which is Muhammadun. Everyone got it? There are cases when it is mandatory for maf'ul bihi to be before a file, okay, before a file. And these are the three cases then that you will see and look in Quran. But whenever there is what I want you to remember at this stage is know what is the normal sequence, and if something is out of sequence, then you start to think about it, and we will learn the details of that in the next few sessions. But I just want you to know at this stage the basic terms and familiarize yourself with the basic terms. Many of you still are not at a stage where they are able to identify their fail as a fail or their jumla ismiya as jumla ismiya. This is going to be too much for those of you who have not understood the basic structure of a sentence. Okay, this is I think this has been shared with you in the previous slides. I think I have already shared that with you guys. Okay, so these are the three mandatory cases when it is mandatory to change the sequence, and it is mandatory for maf'ul bihi to be muqaddam to file. So it is muqaddam, maf'ul bihi is muqaddam, and your file is in that case muakhar, right? You have learned the sequence as fail, file, maf'ul bihi, but there are three cases that you will come across in Quran where you will find that your maf'ul bihi had to be brought before your file. Okay, so I hope everyone is getting this so far. Everyone is with me. I want you to now learn another topic. This topic, you do not need to, at this stage, what I want you to do is just sit back, understand, take a deep breath, and don't get overwhelmed. When I was teaching you mubtada and so many mubtadas that you have seen, when it comes to the type of mubtada, what is the type of mubtada? Your mubtada is generally marifa, right? Your mubtada is generally marifa, right? In so many examples that we have covered, in so many examples that like Allahu Ghafurun Rahimun, Muhammadun Rasulullahi, Muhammad, all those examples. Did you notice how your mubtada that I was showing you was always, for the most cases, it was proper. But does it always have to be proper? What did I teach you about that? No, it does not always have to be proper. So just for your information, I want you to know that what are the cases when it is allowed for mubtada to be common. We are going to learn today the cases when there is a permissibility for mubtada to be common. Okay, so are you all ready? We have how many minutes? We have 10 minutes, and there are 14 cases. Okay, so now let's see what are those cases where there's a permissibility for a common mubtada. The first case, if your sentence has negation, La khawfun alayhim. There is no fear upon them. La bay'un fihi wala qullatun wala shafa'a. There is no trade in it, and there is no friendship in it, and there is no intercession. So you notice in all these four cases, what is the type of mubtada? What this khawfun, is it a common ism, or is your mubtada common? Mubtada is common, but what is allowing it, what is making it permissible for your mubtada to be common? La in the beginning. La, which is la nafiya, has allowed your mubtada to be common. There is no trade in it. Yawmun, yawmun, the day in which there is no trade, no friendship, no intercession, that's going to help. So you are noticing that there is a la in the beginning which made it permissible for your mubtada to be common. Mubtada is it mubtada muakhar or muqaddam? Or you don't need to worry about it at this stage. Do I need to use any term like muakhar or muqaddam here? No worry, no worries here. I'm not going to talk about it, right? Because mubtada is in its right position. A is A. It has not been brought backwards or anywhere. It is at the right spot. Khawfun is in the right spot. I'm not going to talk about any taqdeem wa takhir. I'm not going to talk about that because everything is where it is supposed to be. It is a normal sequence of jumlatul ismiya. I'm just going to label khawfun as mubtada, alayhim jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil khabar, bay'un as mubtada, fihi jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil khabar, and then I'm going to connect kullatun as matuf and shafa'atun as matuf. Okay, is this clear to all of you? Everyone got it? Alhamdulillah. The next case when you will find your mubtada common is going to be when it is preceded by istifham. If there is istifham preceded by istifham. Now it's a very important question that Rukaya is asking, what is istifham? If there is a question preceded by a question, A ilahum ma'allahi, are there gods with Allah? What are we seeing here? It is a question. There is a question. It can be a rhetorical question. It can be any type of a question. It can be a istifham hakiki, a real question. Okay? But when there is a question in a sentence, there is a permissibility, there is an allowance for your mubtada to be common, and you are seeing the example of that. What is the mubtada? What will you label as mubtada? What is going to be labeled as mubtada in sentence A ilahun ma'allahi? A ilahum ma'allahi? How will you label ma'allahi? Is it jar wal majroor or is it mudaf ilayhi? It is mudaf ilayhi. Ma'a is a noun of is a noun that has to do with time and place, right? It has to do with place particularly. So you will label this idafa. This idafa can be labeled as muta'alliq bil khabar. You can label this idafa as muta'alliq bil khabar. Everyone got it? The next case where it is going to be permissible for mubtada to be common is when it has a sifa attached to it. For example, very beautiful ayah from Suratul Baqarah, la abadum mu'minun khayrum min mushrikin. Abadum mu'minun. Abadun, sorry, not abadun. Abadun, can it be your mubtada? A believing slave is better than a disbeliever. Abdun is your mubtada, right? Mu'minun is its sifa, matching in all four properties, both singular, common, masculine, rough in status, right? All properties are matching. Its khabar is khairun, is better. Mim mushrikin jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil khabar. What allowed mubtada to be common? What allowed it to be common? Because it was a mawsoof. When mubtada is a mawsoof, it is permissible for it to be common. Because see here, are you talking about any slave or you're talking about a believing slave? Is sifa making it more specific? Yes or no? How many of you are understanding that now your mubtada is not as common as it was, right? If it was abdun, a slave is better than mushrik. No, it is, it's vague, right? But when you have a sifa added, you have made it more specific. And even though it is common, in literal sense it is common, but it has been specified by a sifa. It is allowed for it to be common just because it is a mawsoof that has been specified by a sifa, and it's now falling in between common and proper. It's now in the middle ground, right? It is just in the middle of the proper and common. It is more specified. than if it was just abdun. Okay? Mubtada is abdun. Abdun is mubtada. Abdun is mubtada. Mu'minun is its sifa. Khairun is khabar. Min mushrikin jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil khabar. When mubtada is a mawsoof, whenever you find your mubtada in mawsoof sifa construction, you will tell yourself that in here it is permissible for it to be common. It is permissible for this type of mubtada to be common because it is specified by a sifa. The reason for it, the rationale behind is because it has a sifa. Now it is permissible for mubtada to be common. I will take it. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. When mubtada is delayed after the khabar or muta'alliq bil khabar, it is permissible for it to be common, right? Ala absarihim ghishawa. Upon their eyes is a covering. Fi qulubihim maradun. In their hearts is a disease. Waladayna mazid. And with us are more. So in all these cases, these are the examples. These are the examples from Quran. You now need to know, now that you have understood what is mu'akhar, if your mubtada is delayed, it is permissible for it to be common. Is this clear to each and every one of you? That Gishawa is mubtada, very good job. Maradun is mubtada, Mazidun is mubtada. All three are common. And if I ask you, my dear students, why is it common? So your answer should be because mubtada is muakhar. It is delayed, right? It is now permissible for this mubtada to be common because it has been delayed. It is mubtada muakhar because it is muakhar. Got it? Then if this one is very similar to the number 3 one, okay, that when mubtada is mudaf, when mubtada is mudaf, it is permissible for it to be common. For example, kullu nafsin dhaikatul maut. Kullu nafsin dhaikatul mauti. So in here, what is going to be labeled as mubtada? The first example. Give me my mubtada. And you have only 2 minutes. Kullu is going to be mubtada. Nafsin is its mudaf ilayhi. Is it common? Right? It's common. Kullu is common. Everyone agrees. Every soul, zaikatul mauti, is going to taste the death, right? Zaikatu is going to be the khabar, and al mauti is connected to zaikatu through idafa. Zaikatu is khabar and it is also mudaf. Al mauti is mudaf ilayhi. So kullu nafsin, mudaf ilayhi together in one bucket, and the bucket is of mubtada. Zaikatul mauti is the khabar bucket. Kullu is mubtada and is a common mubtada. What allowed it to be common? What is making it permissible for it to be common? Because your mubtada was mudaf. Okay. Have you come across this ayah in Quran? Kullahu qanitun. Kullahu qanitun. Everyone to him is subservient. It is from Quran, right? But what is meant when I translated this part? I said everyone is subservient to him. Do you find one in the ayah? Do you kullahu qanitun, is one mentioned there? Is one mentioned there? Anyone able to see one there? Ahadin? You did not find ahadin in Quran. But is it assume it is do you presume it to be there? Do you assume it to be there? Do you assume it to be there? When you translate it, you assume that it is there. Everyone is subservient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So this in here, though it is not, ahadin is not mentioned, but we assume it to be there. So this is where this taqdeeran is coming from. When things are assumed, these words come into play, right? Like dammatul muqaddara, the same root letters, right? So you have covered when you were learning the different types of statices, like dammatul zahira, dammatul muqaddara, when we just assume things to be there. So in here, keep in mind. So it was, in actuality, it is to be understood as kullu ahadin lahu qanitun. So kullun, Kullun is giving you the connotation that its mudaf ilayhi is not there, but it is assumed to be ahadin. And in here, kullun is going to be mubtada. And if I ask you why it is common, why it is allowed to be common, you are going to say that though it is not, it does not have its mudaf ilayhi, but its mudaf ilayhi is assumed to be there. I assume that, one is its mudaf ilayhi. Everyone is subservient to him. Okay? I hope this is clear to all of you. When mubtada is denoting a dua, and this is, I will end the session with this, Salamun alaykum. Salamun alaykum. And you have found this in Quran so many, not so many times, but quite a few times. So, Salamun alaykum. When you say, peace be upon you all, is it a dua? Salamun is a dua to someone, right? When your mubtada denotes a dua in a favor or against someone, it is permissible for that mubtada to be common. Salamun mubtada, alaykum jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil khabar. When there is a curse, when your mubtada denotes a curse against someone, it is permissible for it to be common. And you have seen very many examples of wailul likulli humazatil lumasa, wailul lil mutaffifin, right? So wailun mubtada lil mutaffifina is going to be jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil khabar. How many of you are with me and have gotten some idea of why there is a permissibility of mubtada to be common? Some? Okay, so what you are going to do, who are still struggling, I want you to go back to the session. Once I upload it, make sure you go back to the session, and inshallah, and you don't need to know by heart. I have already tried to put it out there to you guys that it is permissible for mubtada to be common, but these cases will, these 6 cases you should have some idea about, because they are very commonly occurring in Quran, and these will help you understand why there is a permissibility for a common mubtada. Okay, inshallah. So with that, I will end the session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, my dear students. Ameen wa iyyakum.